Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So today I intend to complete with the first topic because it's a topic which is more into theory part and it can be done completed today. So we will see the case studies which are based on this because it's a very important chapter for case studies. And we'll see what are the important points that we have to do here. Starting with benefits of SCM, that is strategic cost management. Strategic cost management, it has developed a framework for reviewing the strategic allocation of resources. So yesterday we discussed the 3 points for strategic cost management, and one of the points was allocation of resources, scarce resources. So it has developed a framework for reviewing the strategic allocation of resources across the business based on core business processes and activities. It has improved the business understanding of its cost drivers, business understanding of cost drivers, leading to improved articulation of the strategic plans and cost terms. And third is it has enabled the business to assess at a high level how the activity-based techniques can be deployed at different levels in the business to improve the cost management process. Okay, so these are the benefits of strategic cost management. Now let us come to the techniques which are involved. In fact, the entire syllabus is compressed in this particular part. That is techniques involved in strategic cost management. So what all things we are going to do in strategic cost management? So the first thing that I discussed yesterday also, we are going to have something of activity-based costing, where we are supposed to find out the cost drivers of a particular activity. Cost drivers meaning what drives that activity. So you can have number of deliveries, number of phone calls made, number of visits, okay, number of purchase orders, number of times you have received the goods, number of inspections, number of setups. So these are the various cost drivers. So identifying the cost drivers and allocating the cost driver, cost per unit, and multiplying that by the number of units. So all this is involved in activity-based costing. So we analyze the activity, we break down the activity into its various cost drivers. Second is target costing. Again, all these points that we are doing now, we are having one chapter based on each of them. So we are having a chapter based on activity-based costing. We are having a chapter based on target costing. Target costing means where I'm coming out with, let us say, a new product in the market. But that product is already existing in the market. That means other manufacturers are already selling that product. For me, it is a new product. So how do I do the pricing of that particular product? I do not have an experience in pricing of that particular commodity because that particular avenue is new to me. So what I do is, I will go to the market, find out what is the market price of a similar product, and I will take the same market price to be the market price of my product, work backwards. That means I know the selling price now, I know the market price now. I will work backwards, calculate the profit margin that I require. To desired profit margin I deduct, and then I arrive at the target cost. So price is equal to cost plus profit, or you can see that the last line I've written there. It is target cost is equal to price, that is the market price, minus the target profit or the desired profit. Okay, so target cost is equal to price minus the target profit. So what you have done, you have gone to the market, found out what is the existing selling price in the market. Okay, found out the existing selling price, worked back by deducting the profit margin, the desired profit margin, and you have arrived at the target cost. Okay, so that is your second technique of strategic cost management. Then we have something called as a benchmarking. Again, a very important concept. See, all these concepts are new to you because you have not done strategic cost management at inter-CA level. So we are learning all these concepts now. Okay, and we are having problems based on this. We are having case studies based on this. So benchmarking is another concept, another technique of strategic cost management. What is benchmarking? Benchmarking actually refers to a situation where you are setting an idol. For example, in the class also, we may be looking upon a student who is performing very well. So I keep him as an idol and I try to do the things that he is doing. What he is doing to get success, to achieve success, the same things I will be doing in my life. So same way in a corporate culture also, there is something called as benchmarking. So in every industry, there is a leader, right? So that leader has achieved that position, that strategic position, because of certain characteristics, because of certain qualities. So I try to find out what are those qualities, what are those characteristics, so that I can implement those qualities or those characteristics within my organization, and I can try to reach up to it. So that is benchmarking. So process of determining who is the very best in the organization, in the industry, and who sets the standards for that particular business. Okay, and then you are keeping him as a benchmark, as an idol, so that you can reach up to it. So that is benchmarking. So we are having questions based on this. We are having case studies based on this. Then we have something called as a business process re-engineering. Business process re-engineering is when you are creating something which is you can say a product which you are manufacturing, where maybe that you are not able to understand how to fix the price of the commodity, why the commodity is having more market for my competitors and not for me. I want to understand this. So what we do is we take the product of the competitor, we buy the product of the competitor, we come to our factory, we break that product, and we see what are the features of that product. For example, I will take the handset of a mobile of my competitor, bring it to my factory, open the mobile, and see what characteristics are different in that particular mobile handset, which is not there in my mobile handset. Okay, so that is what is business process re-engineering, working backwards for the purpose of achieving better performance, cost reduction, because he may be selling a product at a lower price than my product and getting more popularity, and that product is having more features. So how can he afford to give more features at a lower cost? I want to understand that. So I take that particular company's product, break it up, and see what are the components, what are the raw materials. Okay, and then I try to see how I can imbibe those things in my product. It's not that exactly those particular same raw material I will have in my product, but I will try to see what changes I need to make in my product so that it is competitive, so that the cost comes down. So that is your business process re-engineering. Balance scorecard, very important question in the examination. So all these things, they are there in the latter chapters, and we are going to do it in detail. We are going to solve problems based on this. What is a balance scorecard? BSC, as we call it. See, if I want to know the financial position of a company, if I want to know where the company is standing as of now, what is the profitability of the company? What is the position of net assets of the company? How much of assets are there? How much of liabilities are there? What is the source of financing? What do I look at? I look at the financial statements, the income statement, the balance sheet, right? But if I want to know the non-financial factors, I want to know the non-financial factors of the company. Let's say, what are the non-financial factors? I want to know whether the company's customers are satisfied or not satisfied. Now, that is not reflected in the financial statement. That is not reflected in the income statement or the balance sheet. Correct? Same way, I want to know whether my employees are happy or not happy. What is the rate of attrition of my company? Attrition, rate of attrition, the number of people leaving my company. So how many employees are leaving my company during this current financial year? How many people have joined my company? I want to know that. That is not available in the financial statements. I want to know whether my company employees are being trained on a regular basis to meet the challenges of the market, right? Whether they are given adequate training, whether the company is, encouraging them to study more, to get more training, to get more knowledge. What steps the company has taken? I want to know that. It is my company. I'm going to invest in that company. I'm going to be the shareholder of that company. So I want to know that. These are all non-financial measures. What is the quality training that you are giving? For example, as of now, the big four companies which are there, KPMG, EY, Deloitte. So all these big companies which are there, they are encouraging their employees, their staff members, to study more, to do some additional course. So suppose there is a BCom graduate, they will encourage him to do CA. Or there is an MBA person, they will encourage him to do CA. They will encourage him to do CPA. They will encourage him to, get some more training on advanced Excel or data analytics. So depending upon what requirements they are having in the organization, they will promote the employees. They will encourage the employees to do that. And to the extent that they sometimes finance the courses. So if you go to Deloitte, you go to KPMG, you go to EY and Deloitte especially, they are promoting their employees for CPA US because they are having a lot of foreign clients, MNCs, as their clients. So to service those MNCs, they require CPA US. So they are encouraging their staff to do CPA US. They are saying, we are sponsoring you. We are paying for your fees because the courses are very high cost. So they are telling their employees that we are sponsoring you to study, and they give benefits also in the sense you need not work for the entire 8 hours or 10 hours that we require. Evenings you can go early. If you have joined some coaching institute, then we will give you some relief there. Okay, you want Saturday half day, we will give you Saturday half day, Sunday full day off. So they give concessions also so that their employees learn and develop their own educational qualifications so that those employees can be beneficial to my organization at a later date. I can use them for my foreign clients, right? So how much training you are giving to my employees? I want to know that. So where these things are found? They are not found in the financial statements. So they are found in the balanced scorecard. So why do we call it as a balanced scorecard? Because it shows financial measures as well as non-financial measures in one statement. Okay, so they give you the overall perspective of the entire company, not only the financial aspect, but financial as well as non-financial aspects. Then we have Kaizen costing. Kaizen costing is a Japanese term. Most of your strategic cost management terms are Japanese terms. Kaizen costing. Kaizen means what? Kaizen means continuous improvement. Very important. Kaizen means continuous improvement. You must have heard that Japan was bombed by America many years ago. The Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb. Entire country was destroyed. America thrives on that. America thrives on wars. They create wars wherever they go. Why? Because their main economy is based on sale of arms and ammunition. You know that America is not an advanced country. It's not advanced technology. America is advanced more in the arms and equipment, arms and ammunition. So you see, wherever they have gone, they have created wars. They have not brought about development of any country. Where have they brought about development of any country? They have not. They have destroyed every country. Japan, they went and bombed. Libya, they destroyed. Syria, they destroyed. Iraq, they destroyed. Afghanistan, they destroyed. Lebanon, they have destroyed. Which country has benefited by America? Nobody. What is their objective? Sale of arms and ammunition. How will that benefit? Now that will create more revenue. And when will the sale of arms and ammunition come into existence? When you create a war, then you can sell. I'll tell you one thing. They supply arms not only to their allies, they supply arms to both the parties which are fighting. They don't have any benefit in whether a country makes progress or not. They want sale of arms. So they supply arms to the government also. They supply arms to the rebels also. And so you fight. We will provide you unlimited number of arms. That is their business. So this America destroyed Japan entirely. Now what is the position of Japan? It has bounced back. And some of the Japanese products are better than the American products. Right? Some of the Japanese products are better than the American products. How do you think they recovered so fast? They recovered so fast because two factors. Number one, nationalism. Nationalism, it is in their blood. They will never go on a strike, major strike, disrupting production. Up till now, it has not happened. No company's workers have gone on strike during the working hours, stopping production. Why? Because they know they have learned a very good lesson from the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. That stopping production means you are hurting the country, not the employer, not the company, but you are hurting the country because your production stops, the country's production stops. Not only your company's production, your country's production stops. Development of your country will go back, will slow down. So they have realized that. That is one. Second, continuous improvement. Because of these two factors, they have come up so fast. They have come up in such a manner that even after being totally destroyed and flattened out by America, they have bounced back. And now we are competing with America. So what is continuous improvement? The Japanese people don't believe in overnight disclosures or overnight discoveries. They believe in doing everything systematically on a day-to-day basis. What do they say? They say that they take individual example. They say that you want to become a better person. You don't have to change overnight. Today you sleep and when you're sleeping, you say, okay, tomorrow morning, I want to be a different person. From tomorrow, I'm going to change my nature. Is it possible? No. Tomorrow you get up, you have the same old problems facing you. You go back to your same old instincts and you become the same old person. You don't change. So how can you bring about a change overnight? It's not possible. So they say that if you want to really change, bring about 1% change every day. 1% every day. Do at least one activity that you have done yesterday better today. So what you have done yesterday, the same thing you will do, but out of the 10 activities that you did, one activity you will perform better today. Yesterday you must have gone to the office without ironing your clothes. You wore a crumpled shirt and you went to the office. Do something better today. Iron your shirt and then go to the office. So whatever activities you have done yesterday, do at least one activity better than yesterday. Right? So one activity you improve at a time. Bring about 1% change every day. At the end of 365 days in a year, you have brought about a 365% improvement in yourself. 1% every day for 365 days. It's going to be 365% better than you were last year. So they say that bring about 1% change every day. Every day improve upon your previous day's activities by a small margin. You don't have to do something big. Okay, you have gone to your office. You are having a cabin of your own or a space of your own. And you find that all the things are cluttered around here and there. Like you will find in my house here, it is all the books are thrown about it. You can do something better today than what you've done yesterday. Arrange all the books properly. Clean your table. See that there is no clutter over there. Improvement as compared to yesterday. So every day you do something better than what you have done yesterday. 1% change, and you will see that there is continuous improvement brought about every day. So the end of the year, you are having a total 200-300% change in your business activities. That is continuous improvement. Okay. So Kaizen is a Japanese term. Look at this. For making improvements to a process through small incremental amounts rather than through large innovations. That is Kaizen costing for it. Okay, so Kaizen means improvement, small improvement, continuous improvement over a period of time. Six Sigma, I will come to this at a later stage. Life cycle costing. Life cycle costing is what Mukesh Ambani did for Reliance Jio. Reliance Jio, he did life cycle costing. What is life cycle costing? Life cycle costing means you don't find out the profit or loss for 1 year as you do in financial accounting. In financial accounting, what do you do? Revenue for the current year minus the expense of the current year minus, you get the profit for the year. I'm not doing that in life cycle costing. In life cycle costing, I prepare. See, every product has got a life cycle, product life. Nobody is going to have indefinite product life. You can't sell a product indefinitely for 100 years. Not possible. Right? So earlier in the telecommunication sector only, you look at the telecommunication sector, we had something called as a pager. Then came the handset, that is your mobile, without the touch screen. Then came the mobile with the touch screen. Now you are having your Android mobiles and whatnot. They are having different versions of that. So no product is surviving for a long period of time, like 100 years, 50 years. There is no such product. Even human beings are having a limited lifespan. See, I have become a teacher maybe at the age of 20 to 25. But after that, to what extent I can teach? I cannot teach till I'm 100 years of age. There is a limitation. So there also there is a shelf life, a product life. So every product has got a definite lifespan. And normally the lifespan is 10 to 15 years. Maximum 15 years you can sell the same product. But after that you have to change. You have to bring about changes. Parle-G brand is there. Parle-G brand is there. But the product has changed over time. Inside the product has changed over time. So there will be some changes that you need to bring about because a product has got a definite lifespan. So product life cycle costing means that you are finding out what is the estimated time for a product to live, to exist, to sell in the market. Say 15 years. You calculate the estimated revenue for that 15 years. You calculate the estimated production cost for that 15 years. And you find out your profit margin, your total profit over the next 15 years, not 1 year, 15 years. So now I know that, over the 15 years, I'm going to make a revenue of 150 crores. And my total cost of manufacturing will come to another 100 crores over 15 years. Okay, estimated. So 50 crores will be my profit over 15 years. Now, I need not get that 50 crores in 1 year. I will get 15 to 50 crores over the period of 15 years. So how I can do it? I will manage. Initial years, if I plan to sell my product free of cost. Initial years, if I plan to sell my product free of cost. Can I do that? I may be able to do that because I know 50 crores I have to get as profit over 15 years. So initial 2-3 years I sell the product free of cost. So let us say 3 years I sell the product free of cost. So now I have to recover that profit of 50 crores for the next 12 years. Not 15 years, 12 years. And then accordingly I will work out my profit for next year. So Reliance Jio has done the same thing. When it was launched in the market, what did it do? It sold the product absolutely free of cost. What you have to do? You have to pay 2,000 rupees as deposit. Correct? Incoming free, outgoing free, data free. All features were given free of cost, isn't it? 2,000 was the deposit that you are maintaining for Reliance Jio. Everything else was free of cost. What do you think Mukesh Ambani is doing charity? No. But he has done life cycle costing. This team has done life cycle costing. They know what is the total cost that is going to be incurred over the next 15 years. They know what is going to be the revenue generated over the next 15 years. And they have planned accordingly that in the initial years, we are going to give you free of cost, capture the market. When everything is free, normally customers will buy. So first get hold of the market, capture the market. And after you capture the market, then you can slowly increase the price. Once the customers fall to your product, they start buying your product, they start enjoying your product, you can slowly increase the price. So this is called as life cycle cost. These are the new techniques of costing that we are having in day-to-day life, modern costing, which you have not learned in Interc, because that is traditional costing, right? So traditional costing is different from modern costing, or what we call as strategic cost management. Likewise, you are having some other concepts like total quality management, PQM, which is again a major question in your examination. There is a separate part which we are devoting for PQM. We'll come to that. JIT inventory, just in time. You have done this in Interc also. Just in time inventory, that you are going on the basis of, there are two types of demand, push demand and pull demand. Okay, so just in time is a case of pulling demand. That means when the demand for the product is there, when the customer places the order for the goods, then you go to purchase raw materials. So you are avoiding inventory, you are avoiding inventory cost. You are reducing the production cost, right? So that is your GIT. Then activity-based management, which is related to activity-based costing. Fine. So these are the different types or techniques of strategic cost management that we have to learn at CA5. And your entire syllabus is, covering all these topics. We are having one chapter on these topics, each of these topics. Okay. So before I proceed, I'll give you 5 minutes. Go through all these 8 points. There are 7 points. I have not explained these 6 far. Go through all the 7 points. See if there is any problem. Then we will go to the next part. So I'll give you 5 minutes. Go through the entire theory part. See if there is anything that you have not understood. Starting from activity-based costing. Anything that you have not understood, ask. what is important here is that you have to read and get familiar with the terms, the concepts, because the concepts will not be coming easily to you. They are new terms, so you have to read and see that you are getting accustomed to and using the words more frequently, because in the examination you should be able to recollect those words, because this chapter is most important for your theory questions, that is your essay type questions, lengthy questions, case study. Case study, what you are going to write is not defined in the book. It is that you have to take points from various aspects of the chapter and put it into your answer. So you should get the terms, to write down the terms. You should be getting familiar with the terms. So that is more important. Fine. Let us go to the next few important parts. Coming down to components of strategic cost management. Three important concepts or three important components. SCM, that is strategic cost management, revolves around three business themes. Number one, strategic positioning analysis. Now, one thing that is to be told, certain terms will come repeatedly in your syllabus. But how much you are supposed to write on those terms? Because certain things, now for example, benchmarking. They are doing a major chapter on benchmarking separately, activity-based costing. They are having a separate chapter on activity-based costing. But when they ask me techniques of strategic cost management, it is one of the points. I don't have to write the entire story of activity-based costing there, because it is one of the 8 points. So I have to be brief. I have to know only the concept. But to activity-based costing, there are several other things also. How to calculate cost drivers, how to get the cost driver quantity, cost driver cost, activity-based management. So these are all parts of activity-based costing. But I'm not going to discuss that here. If they have asked me as techniques of strategic cost management, it is one of the points. So I have to be very concise. I have to be very brief. Like that, there are several other concepts also which will come throughout your entire syllabus repeatedly. But how much you have to write in a given question depends upon what question you are asked. Now, I may ask you a question on components of strategic cost management. So there are 3 components here: strategic positioning analysis, cost driver analysis, value chain analysis. Everywhere I have to be just brief as to what is strategic positioning, what is cost driver, what is value chain analysis, in brief. But I have in my syllabus an entire part dealing with strategic positioning only. An entire part dealing with only cost driver analysis, ABC costing, activity-based costing. And today I am going to do in detail value chain analysis. But when I'm talking about components of strategic cost management, I have to be brief. I don't have to do the entire story. First one, strategic positioning analysis means what is your strategic position in the entire industry? See, every company belongs to an industry. Either you belong to the manufacturing sector or you belong to the service sector. If you are belonging to the manufacturing sector, which sector you belong to? whether you belong to the iron and steel industry, whether you belong to the information technology, IT sector, whether you belong to power structure, that is your sector, whether you belong to infrastructure sector, right? So which particular industry you belong to? Once you know that, what is your position in the industry? What is your position in the industry? Whether it is number 1, number 2, number 5. And then looking at the number 1 position. How to achieve that number 1 position? Strategic positioning of the business. So in the industry where you stand, what is your strategic position? What are the external and internal factors that will be required by you to strategize to achieve the top, to come to the top? Second is cost driver analysis. We are talking about cost driver analysis, not what is cost driver meaning and what are types of cost drivers, examples, and how to use the cost driver techniques or getting the cost driver quantity. That is not what we are talking. Cost driver analysis, in brief. Cost driver is an activity which drives the cost for a particular function. Okay, that you have to understand. There are 2 types of cost drivers. Structural cost driver, okay, structural cost drivers, and executional cost drivers. Structural and executional cost drivers. Structural cost drivers. Structure of what? Structure of organization. So when you're studying now, study with the idea in mind. Structural cost driver. Structure of what? Structure of the organization. How large the organization is, or how small the organization is. On the basis of that, your cost drivers will be also more or less. If it is a large organization, there will be more cost drivers. If it's a small organization, there will be less cost drivers. If it's a large organization, you can get the benefits of large scale production. If it is a small organization, you can't get the benefits of large scale production because your production also will be smaller. Okay, so structural cost drivers depends upon the size of the organization. Sometimes the organization may be small, but the structure is such that most of the activities are computerized, mechanized, automatic. So even though the organization is small, because all the activities are computerized, you'll find that it is faster growing and earning more revenue than a large organization, which is maybe labor intensive. Followed. So structural cost drivers depends upon that particular aspect. How big or small the organization is, whether you have implemented technology in your organization, right? Executional cost drivers. Executional refers to activities that you have to do to implement those policies. Execution of activities. Kaizen costing. Whether you have implemented Kaizen costing in your organization, continuous improvement of your activities over a period of time. Okay, how you have set up your factory, what is your factory layout, that is execution. TQM, total quality management, execution. You are trying to implement qualities, improving the features of the product. This is an improvement in quality of the product. Using better raw materials, executional cost, right? So activity related cost drivers are executional cost drivers. Structural cost drivers are organizational related, size of the organization, technology, whether it is being used by the organization or not. That is cost driver analysis. In short, value chain analysis, in short, means what? Value chain analysis means that in your production activity, when you are producing something, you are not supposed to be responsible only for your factory or your production unit. This is a wrong concept. This is a traditional concept. That I have to look after only my business. No, Because when we talk about value chain analysis, chain means what? Chain of activities. Chain of activities. Now, where does the chain of activities start with? Not with my production. Production is a part of the chain. Where does my activity start? Supplier. From where I purchase raw material. Where does my activity end? Not by selling. It is not selling. It is not my factory output, advertisement, marketing, sales department. No. It is a final consumer, the final customer. So my chain of production starts from supplier, not from my production unit. Starts from supplier and ends with customer. I am the in-between part, production unit. I'm manufacturing, I'm producing, I'm rendering the service. But it starts with the supplier, it ends with the customer. It does not start and end with me. Starting and ending with me, it is traditional costing. But I'm looking after my business, my production, my factory, my office, my workers, my employees. But in strategic cost management, that is not what is the concept. The concept is chain, value chain, right from supplier, who supplies the raw materials, to the customer, who consumes your finished product. Okay, so value chain analysis means what? Value chain analysis means that I first find out who are the participants in that value chain, who is my supplier, my production unit, and who is my customer. So three parts are there. And in these three parts, there are a lot of activities taking place. For example, supplier is manufacturing my raw materials. So quality of raw materials, timely delivery of raw materials, logistics involved in the transportation cost, inspection of those goods which are received by the raw materials received by. Then my storage capacity, my production capacity, my workers, my employees, my methods of production, my machinery, the power that I am using, technology that I am using, the defectives that are being manufactured, removal of those defects, improving upon those defects, coming out with more quality products, marketing of those products, advertising of those products, dispatching those goods to my wholesalers and retailers. So again, transportation costs, logistics involved over there also. So every person, even the transporter, is my part of value chain. The transporter is a part of my value chain. So when those goods are being transported by, let us say, trucks or tempos or whatever it is, the transporter is a part of my value chain. The wholesaler and his showroom is a part of my value chain. The godown of the wholesaler and the retailer it's a part of my value chain. I'm not owning them, but it is a part of my value chain. Anything goes wrong anywhere in this, my sale of product is affected. And then final consumer who consumes the product, he should be satisfied. So it starts with quality raw materials, it ends with customer satisfaction. That is value chain. Okay, so it is not only my production, it is my entire chain of activities. Now, why do I call it as value chain? Because once I identify that chain of activities, I have to analyze. That is why it is called analysis. I have to analyze that particular chain and see and identify activities which are going to be classified into value added activities, okay, and non-value added activities. So what do you mean by analysis? You are analyzing all those activities in the chain into value added activities and non-value added activities. Non-value added activities can be further classified into two parts. One which is absolutely necessary but non-value added, and the other one which is not necessary. Whatever is not necessary has to be eliminated. Non-value added, not necessary, should be eliminated. Non-value added, necessary, should be minimized. Not eliminated, it should be minimized. Value added should be taken into full consideration. You have to promote those value-added activities. So that analysis of activities into value addition and non-value addition, and further breakup of that non-value addition into what is necessary and what is not necessary. That is your value chain analysis. Right? So this is what we are going to study in detail now. Value chain analysis is a major component of chapter number 1. Right? I'm leading you to that. So we had done in systematic manner, and now we have come to value chain analysis, which we have to do in very, very, very great detail. That is the main part of your chapter 1. Okay. So let us see. So this was what we discussed. Strategic positioning, cost driver analysis. In cost driver analysis, I explained to you the concept of structural and executional cost drivers. Structural cost drivers are dealing with the size of the firm, the scope of operation, the scale and scope of operation. Okay. And the use of technology by the firm, complexity of operation. This is your structural cost drivers. In the examination, they have asked short note on this. So you never know from which part of your syllabus the question is going to be asked. They have asked a 4 marks question on this. This has come in the examination for 4 marks. Explanation of structural and executional cost drivers. What is executional cost drivers? They are based on firm's operational decision activities. What are the activities? Determined by the management style and the policy. Continuous improvement, that is Kaizen costing. TQM, that is total quality management. Plant layout. These are examples of executional cost drivers. So question of 4 marks has been asked in one of the papers for on structural and executional cost drivers. Okay, so every concept you have to understand. You don't have to write verbatim. You don't have to write exactly the same words, but you should understand what the concept is, and you should be able to write it in the examination. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, now we come to value chain analysis. Definition and the breakup of this, which is a huge analytical part, which involves case studies also. So, what is the definition? As I told you, in simple terms, I explained to you that from the supplier to the customer, all the activities that take place, it's a part of my value chain. So value chain analysis is defined as a means of segregating various activities, breaking up various activities of a business and identify them with respect to their contribution towards value generation by identifying the cost. How much? That is what we call as division of activities into value-added activities and non-value-added activities. Division of activities. That is your contribution towards value generation. To find out what is value added, what is non-value added, by identifying the cost, that is inputs consumed by that activity and the output generated. So inputs consumed and output generated. The relationship between that. Does it add value? Does it not add value? Okay. It is a strategic management tool to assess and review the various business functions. So what is important? That it is a strategic management tool. For what purpose? For assessing and reviewing the various business functions in which utility is added to the product. In which utility is added to the product. That is why we say value addition. Value chain depicts as to how customer value accumulates along a chain of activities that lead to an end product or service. It is described as the internal processes or activities a company performs to design, produce, market, deliver, and support its product. This is the concept of value chain. Okay, so you need not study by heart all these things, but you have to understand, and you can write it in your own words, no issue. We don't expect you to be highly technical in this, but you should be able to convey to the examiner the meaning of value chain. Maybe. And one more thing is that how to score in strategic cost management. Whenever you are writing something, better add an example to it. So now you clarify your point. So even if your concept is not clear when you're writing the example, the concept becomes clear to the examiner. And he understands that, okay, you have understood this concept and marks are given. Okay, so always support your answer wherever possible with example. Fine. Now, DCA involves 3 steps, and each one is important. The first one is internal cost analysis. Internal cost analysis. Second one is internal differentiation analysis. And third one is vertical linkage analysis. Internal cost analysis. What is going on in my production facility? At my production center, at my factory, at my office, at my company, what are the various costs incurred? How do they contribute towards profit? Okay. Now everything I'm trying to relate to profit. How it is going to add to my profit? How it is going to add to my value? So how it is going to contribute to my value? Internal cost. Okay. Internal differentiation analysis. How each process of mine is going to create a product which is different from my competitor. Differential analysis. So in other words, how it is going to add a value to my product. How it is going to add a value to my product as compared to my competitor. Fine. Vertical linkage analysis. What is a vertical linkage? Supplier, my production unit, and customer. So what is the relationship between my 3 parts? So what are the vertical linkages? The vertical linkage is made up of supplier. From the supplier, my manufacturing unit or my manufacturing company. And from there, it comes to my customer. This is a vertical linkage. So what is the relationship between the supplier and my production unit? What is the relationship between my production unit and the customer? How can I maximize value from supplier to my unit? In this, what we are going to also study is that sometimes you may find that supplier is having a financial problem, or supplier is having some labor problem, or supplier is having some power problem. Okay. And as a result of that, he is not able to manufacture the raw materials for my company as expected. So what I need to do is I have to help the supplier. To create that value. Maybe that he is having a financial problem, so I will have to arrange a loan for him, not for my business. I may have to arrange a loan for his business so that he can work, he can manufacture, and he can supply the goods. So that is what is called vertical linkage. So I am not concerned only about my production. I am concerned with supplier's production also, because if the supplier is not producing quality products, then my raw materials will be defective, isn't it? So I'm equally concerned about the supplier's manufacturing facility as I'm concerned with mine. So what is the relationship and the associated cost? Supplier is manufactured quality goods, but he does not have transportation to deliver the products to my factory. He does not know any transporter. So I will have to arrange for the transportation. And I will have to tell the supplier, look at this particular company. This is transporting goods from your place to my place. So I will have to arrange for the transportation, logistics. Right? So vertical linkage, the relationship that is there between supplier and my company to my customer, whether my customer is satisfied, whether he is getting timely delivery of goods. Okay? Whether he is getting timely delivery of goods, especially in the pharmaceutical field, in medicines. Your medicines have to be delivered on time, because patients cannot wait for your transportation. Patients require the medicines when they are required by them. So you have to see that whenever they have a demand, your supply is there. You are able to supply the goods on time. Right? So that relationship that you are having between your supplier and your company with your customer, that is vertical linkage analysis, and which we are going to study all in detail. Now, before we come to all those 3 aspects, we have to learn Porter's value chain. Porter's value chain. What you have studied is Porter's 5 force model. That will also come. That will also come. But before that, we have to study Porter's value chain analysis. Porter has done a value chain analysis as to the linkage between the supplier and company and customer, and he has divided the activities into two parts. He has divided the activities into two parts: primary activities and support activities. Okay, so you are having primary activities here and support activities here. Now you have to know, very important, because this comes as a case study. This is a very, very important question for case study. 20 marks are there on this particular Porter's value chain analysis. And if you don't study and if it comes to the examination, God help. So what you have to learn here, the two classifications: primary activities, support activities. What comes in primary activities, that you have to study. What comes in support activities, that you have to study. Total 9 things are, 9 activities are there. 5 activities in the primary, 4 activities in the support. What are the 5 activities in the primary? What you can do is, you can remember them in a particular logical sequence. See, writing the answer you can write in any form, any order, but prefer to follow a particular order. What is that order? First is inbound logistics. I'm looking at only primary activities. Okay, I'm looking at only primary activities. So in primary activities, what all comes? The first should be inbound logistics. Second should be operations. Third should be outbound logistics. Fourth, you can have marketing activities, and fifth, you can have services. Study in the same order. Okay. Now let us come to what are those activities? Primary activities. As I said, study in the same order. First is inbound logistics. Second is operations. Third is outbound logistics. Fourth is marketing and sales. And fifth is service. How to remember? When you are starting production, what do you require? You require raw materials. From where you are going to get raw materials? From supplier. What will supplier do? He will manufacture the raw materials and supply to you. So for you, it is incoming of goods. Your first step is inbound logistics. What are the inbound logistics? Inbound logistics, when the supplier transports the raw materials to your place. Transportation. So transporter is one of the activities. Okay. The means of transport: truck, tempo, carriers, huge containers. So transportation. When the goods come to your factory, what do you do? Receive the goods. After receiving the goods, what do you do? Inspect the goods. After you inspect the goods, what do you do? Store the goods. Everything logical. You don't have to mug up and study this. Inbound logistics. First step is inbound logistics. For manufacturing, I require to purchase. Purchase means I have to purchase from supplier. So supplier will be delivering raw materials. It is incoming of raw materials. Incoming of raw materials because transportation, receiving of goods, inspection of goods, storage of goods. Finished. You don't have to go into the details at all. You don't have to write paragraphs and paragraphs. One small paragraph. Okay. So inbound logistics. Second is operations. What are operations? Manufacturing activities. Manufacturing activities. Feeding the raw material into the production process. Controlling the quality of production, quality of products. Arranging the machines in a systematic logical sequence. Checking the quality of the products before they are delivered. That is your operational activity. Maintaining the machines in good condition. The repairs and maintenance of machines. Correct? Once you do that, product is ready. Think in a logical sequence. Raw materials purchase, manufacturing activities over. Now what? How to deliver? Deliver means what? Outgoing of goods. Means what? Outbound logistics. Outbound logistics is the third step. So now you have to decide transporter. Who is going to be my transporter? What is the timing of the delivery? How to schedule my timings. When the customer has placed the order, when does he require the order? To schedule the deliveries. Ensure that the customer receives the goods on time. Ensure that transporter delivers the goods on time. Outbound logistics. You have taken care of that. Then marketing of products. Marketing of products. So fourth step is marketing and sales. Creating the demand for the product. Advertising, sales promotion, salesmen are appointed, they will go door to door canvassing, advertising in different forms, different medias, right? Doing market research as to where your customers are located. That is what marketing and sales. Achha, now you have manufactured the goods, you have done your marketing, you have transported the goods, outbound logistics has taken place, you have transported the goods. Then what? Last thing is after sales activity. Customers have complaints, customers have grievances. They will come back to you, return the products, ask for replacement, ask for warranty replacement. After sales service. Service, last point. After the goods are sold to the customers, handling the customer queries, handling the doubts of the customer, handling the warranty queries, replacement of products, repairs of defective products. After sales service. Very easy here. So primary activities, inbound logistics, operational activities, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, service, after sales service. 5 functions you have. Primary activities over. Secondary activities. Secondary activities 4 are there. You can write in any order. What are the secondary activities involved in? Infrastructure, human resource management, HR, technological development, and procurement. Now, procurement, I want to mention specifically here, is not purchase of raw materials. Is not purchase of raw materials. Okay. Let us look at all the 4 aspects. Infrastructure. Okay. Infrastructure, how your office and factory layout, how you are going to have your factory layout and your office layout. Obviously, when you enter a company, do you find the IT department sitting over there? No. When you enter a company, do you find directors cabin? Directors there at the entrance, welcoming all the people who are coming into the organization. So when you enter the company, who is there? The receptionist, right? So receptionist is there. Front office, you call it as front office. Nowadays, you don't call a receptionist of a receptionist. She feels insulted. He or she feels insulted. We give them a very good name. We call them as front office staff. So front office staff is there. Okay. So you have a person sitting over there, inquiry table. You have to go and talk to that person. That person will then guide you where you have to go in the organization. So the reception counter. Whenever there is any post, it will come to the reception counter. From the reception counter, it will go to your postal department. From the postal department, it will be segregated, which will go to the accounts department, what will go to the sales and marketing department, what will go to the director's cabin. Classification is done. Then you have different people, operational activities, as they call it, operational activities, admin department. So you will have the administration department. You'll have one HR department. You'll have sales and marketing department. So how you are going to lay out the entire structure? That is infrastructure, right? HR, human resource management. What is the basis of recruitment of employees? Whether employees after recruitment are required to go online training, that is on the job training, or they can be directly absorbed into the business. What are the medical facilities that you are providing to your employees? What are the recreational facilities you are providing to the employees? Are you providing adequate training to the employees? That is your human resource management. Third is technological development. Development of technology, meaning how much you are investing in IT sector, how much of automation is there. Are you trying to convert all your manual systems into IT systems? That will speed up the process of production. That will speed up your administration process, your marketing process. So what is the importance of technology to your business? Right? And the fourth one is procurement. Procurement is not only purchase of raw materials. Procurement is purchase of any asset, including raw materials, but not restricted to raw materials. Purchase of land, purchase of property, purchase of machinery, purchase of equipment, purchase of furniture. All these things come under procurement. These are all support activities. So primary activities are in the line of production. Support activities without which you cannot have the main primary activities. They are supporting activities. Support activities are also called as secondary activities, or they are also called as, I will write here one more term, incidental activities. So you should be able to identify support activities or secondary activities or incidental activities. Clear? Any difficulty? Okay. Now, what will be the type of question asked in the examination? Case study I'm talking about, 20 marks. The 20 marks case study will be giving you a particular story of a company which is having different types of activities. Different types of activities. Now, in the story, you have to identify the primary activities and the secondary activities. That is the support activities. Right? So, what you have to do is, given a story of a company, manufacturing company or a service company, you have to identify that in that story, which are the primary activities. Out of them, which is the inbound logistics, what is the operational activity, what is the outbound logistics, what is the marketing activity, what is the sales activity, service activity. Then secondary activities, support activities, what is the infrastructure activity, what is the HR activity, what is the technological department, that particular activity, what is the procurement activity. Identification. So that is why I said that all these 9 points you have to know. And how to write the answer. You have to identify that activity. And when you're writing the answer, you have to state what is that activity in brief and identify that activity in your answer. Okay, we'll come to that. So let us take a case study here. I'm taking a small example from your RTP of May 28. Example 2, page number 16. It's a case study. You are the finance manager of BP Limited. I'm telling you how the question is going to come and how to write the answer. You are the finance manager of BP Limited, which is in the business of manufacturing wire rods. This is your example of case study. 20 marks. Let's see, 20 marks. No, this will be for 10 marks. I'll tell you why for 10 marks. It is for 10 marks because they have not asked you primary and support activities here. They have asked you only for primary activities. Primary and secondary, it will be for 20 marks. So here they have asked you explain and identify the various primary activities. Only one part they have asked. So it will be 10 marks. So you are the finance manager of BP Limited, which is the business of manufacturing wire rods. A division in the company manufactures copper wire rods from a single manufacturing plant in central India. The division purchases raw material, which is copper cathodes, from various suppliers across the country. The cathodes are melted and wire rods of various dimensions are produced. Each batch of wire rods produced are tested for quality and strength. So you have to, as you are reading now, you have to identify which are the activities which are going to be inbound logistics. What is an operational activity? what is an outbound logistic? Okay, you have to, as you are reading, you have to keep your mind alert as to identification. Then each batch of wire rods produced are tested for quality and strength. The wire rods are stored in rolls in the warehouse and dispatched in company-owned trucks, outbound logistics, as per the requirements of the customers. Customers are required to pay 50% within 30 days of delivery. The company prices its copper rods based on the price prevailing on the London Metal Exchange after adjusting with a factor to cover conversion costs and profits. Company explores newer markets by advertising in national dailies, marketing and sales, and participating in various industrial events in India as well as abroad, marketing and sales. An annual conference of customers is conducted by the company to improve customer relations and attract new customers. The customers have the right to return the material if quality specifications are not met after sales service. There is a separate team to handle such complaints after sales service. So as you are reading the example, it should strike, okay, this is this particular activity. Now let us see how to answer. How to answer, very important. They have said explain and identify the various primary activities of copper division. Now this is not the answer in the same format as it is given in the RTP. I'll tell you very frankly, because I want you to write the answer in a particular format. And what is that format? As soon as you get a case study like this, you should identify first. It relates to what concept? It relates to the concept of value chain. So your first job will be to write what is value chain. Don't attack the answer straight away. 20 marks if it is primary and secondary. 10 marks if it is only primary. So by just writing those 5 points, you are not getting 10 marks. What you have to write to get 10 marks? Identify the concept involved. What is the concept involved? Value chain analysis. So explain first in brief. Don't write stories. Explain in brief what is value chain. Definition of value chain. A value chain is a chain of value-added activities, products passing through the activities in a given chain. Value chain focuses on systems and how business inputs are changed into business outputs purchased by customers. Finished. 2 or 3 lines. Then they have asked you for primary activities. So define what is primary activity. So here you are defining the concept. What is the concept? Value chain. Here what you are defining the activity. Defining the primary activity. Because if asked you what is primary activity, what are the activities involved in various primary activities? So first explain what is primary activity. Are those activities that are directly related with creating and delivering the goods. Okay. Then what is inbound logistics here? Inbound logistics means purchase of raw material. Okay. Purchases raw materials. This is inbound activity from various suppliers across the country. That is your inbound activity. So inbound activity involves arranging inbound movement of materials. Again here, what you are doing, you are defining. This part is defining. Definition. Everywhere there is definition. So define and then explain. Define and then explain. Inbound logistics. What is definition of inbound logistics? It arranges for inbound movement. You don't need to write inbound movement. You can write internal movement. Is it fine? Yes, it is fine. You can write in your own words. It involves arranging for internal movement, that is inward movement of materials from suppliers, right? This suppliers from suppliers to manufacturing plants. The activities related to inbound logistics in the given case is the case of copper division involving transportation of copper cathodes from multiple suppliers across the country and storing them in the warehouse. This is your inbound logistics. Purchasing, receiving, inspection, storage. Right? So all these things are coming here. Okay. Operational activity. First define what is operational activity. Define. Operations are those activities which are concerned with conversion of inputs into outputs. Conversion of raw material into finished goods. Simple. Okay. In case of manufacturing companies, activities under operations would include those relating to what was the operational activity here? It was melting of the wires. Okay. Testing of those wires for quality and strength. Storage of those wires in the warehouses. So activities would involve melting of copper cathodes, converting the copper cathodes into wire rods, quality tests conducted. All these are part of operational activities. Okay. Outbound logistics, distribution of those particular outputs, planning and dispatch, distribution management, transportation, warehousing. Okay. So distributing, warehousing of finished goods, distribution of the copper rods to its customers. And what they have said here, you have to identify the activity. They have said that company is using its own trucks. No? Company owned trucks. Highlight this in your answer. Company is using its own trucks for dispatch. Okay. So that means they are not depending upon other transporters. They can arrange their own schedules. So scheduling of trucks and dispatch of goods would be a part of outbound logistics. Marketing of goods. Okay. DP Limited is using advertisement in national dailies, world's conferences as a part of its marketing efforts. Annual customer conference is done. After sales service, in case of manufacturing industry service, generally refers to the after sales service which are required to maintain the value of product. Okay. The service team is expected to handle customer returns on account of poor quality of products. Like this, they can also ask you, that means they can give you a story. Then you are supposed to identify the support activity also. So if that also comes, it is a question of 20 marks. Here they have asked only for primary activities, it is for 10 marks. Okay. So have you understood how to write an answer now? Value chain analysis, how to write an answer for value chain analysis. Okay. So this is what is needed for case study. So case study means basically what will be done is on your one of your topics, they will give you a story and they will ask you questions based on that story, which is related to some of your topics. So in this particular example, we have taken related to value chain analysis. So the first thing that you have to do, given a case study, identify what is the concept involved, which particular concept they are testing me on, and write a brief about that particular concept. Now, in this case, it was value chain. So I write a brief paragraph on what is value chain. After writing value chain, then they ask me primary activities. So I'll write a brief paragraph on what is primary activity. Then the 5 activities which are covered under that. So first is inbound logistics. A brief on inbound logistics. What does an inbound logistics mean? Then identify in the given example, these are the activities involved in inbound logistics. In very simple terms. Then you write operational. Operational activities means conversion of raw material into finished product. Go to your example again. Identify and write over that these are the operational activities. Outbound logistics, how the output is going to be transferred to warehouses, stored in warehouses. That is your outbound logistics. Go to your example, find out the outbound logistics, put it over there. Marketing, creating a demand for the product. Appointment of salesman, advertising. Go to the example, find out where those activities are, write those points in your answer. It's not difficult. Scoring is very simple, but you should know how to write the answer because I have to score full 10 marks. If you're writing the answer in proper format, mark my words, I'm telling you this out of personal experience. You are going to get full 10 marks or full 20 marks for the case study if you have covered the basic points. They are not concerned with technicalities, with your language. They are concerned with, are you able to identify those activities in your example? Okay, we are going to do different types of case studies. Why? I will tell you. Because normally value chain is a concept related to manufacturing companies. But in one of your exam question papers, they have given you value chain for a service-oriented company. Service-oriented company, where there is no manufacturing activity. So they want to know how you will do the second primary activity. What is that? Operations. Because if it is a manufacturing concern, you will say manufacturing concern. Operations means conversion of raw materials into finished product. But in the service industry, you can't say that. So what you are going to write as operational activity, that is very important, right? So we'll take up an example of a service industry also. Don't worry. We'll have different types of questions that which are going to be good. Coming back to value chain analysis. As I said, it's going to be a very long procedure. So you have done value chain analysis of Porter's value chain analysis. Now, coming to value chain analysis approach in general, what we have done, primary and secondary and support activities, it is Porter's value chain analysis. Value chain analysis in general, there are two different approaches. One is the cost advantage approach and one is the differentiation advantage. Or we can call it as cost leadership and differentiation. So another term for cost advantage is cost leadership. Get used to these terms. Cost advantage, cost leadership. So cost advantage and differentiation advantage. These are two different approaches for value chain analysis. So let us first try to understand from this given table as to what we are going to study here. And then I will make you write a detailed answer for cost advantage and for differentiation advantage. Let us look at the table now. Cost advantage approach is used when organizations have to compete on cost and want to understand the sources of their cost advantage or disadvantage and what factors drive those costs. Something difficult to understand? Yes. Put it in simple terms. Simple terms I've given you over there. Cost leadership. What is cost leadership? I want to be the leader as far as cost is concerned. Means what? It doesn't mean that my cost should be the maximum. Leadership in cost means what? My cost should be the minimum. Right? So cost leadership means I have to lead my industry by having minimum cost. Okay? So I will try to break up the total cost into fixed cost, variable cost, and then find out which of the costs are controllable, which of the costs are not controllable. Try to bring about a reduction in cost, a savings in cost, and try to manufacture the output at the cheapest possible cost. Okay? Example, I've given to Amazon.com is inclined towards cost advantage. What they are doing is cost advantage. Ford Automobiles, Toyota, McDonald's, they are all concerned with cost leadership, minimizing the cost and giving you better quality. Differentiation advantage, where the firms that strive to create superior products or services use the differentiation advantage approach. Meaning that I want to lead my industry, but not by becoming a cost leader. I want to lead my industry where people should be identifying me because of my brand, because of my product differentiation, because of some feature of the quality of my product which stands out and impresses the customer. Product differentiation. Now, when you're going to a supermarket to buy products, let us say you want to buy a soap. So you are going to a supermarket. When you go to the soap section, you find different brands of soaps all available over there. Lux is there, Hammam is there, Liril is there, Fiyama is there, some international brands are there. But customer goes and picks out one particular product from their own. Why? Because that is standing out in the entire crowd. Because of what? Because of maybe, what knows, some feature, some quality. Maybe because of the quality. Maybe because of the fragrance. Maybe because of the cost. But here we are talking about differentiation. So, some feature of the product which is making the product outstanding in the market, look different in the market. amongst all the other products, right? So Apple is one of them, Google is one of them, Starbucks, Samsung. These are all products which are going on the basis of differentiation. When you go to the market, Samsung product is very clearly distinguishable from any other products. So it is identifiable by its quality, by its features, by its outstanding nature in the shelf. And what does it do? It tries to identify what is the customer looking for and giving the customer exactly that what he wants. Apple is famous not because its quality is famous, it's doing marketing in such a way that it has become famous. One more example I will give you is that of Unacademy in the education sector, Byju's in the education sector. Okay, now these are educational institutions which are bombarding you with advertisements, bombarding you with advertisements. But do you know what is the quality? Nobody knows about the quality. It is said that quality is good. I don't know, but they are advertising. They are advertising in such a manner that is pleasing to me. Okay, they are showing me some graphics. They are showing me some students sitting and looking at the video lectures, and they are enjoying. They are happy. They are content with the output which is given. So I feel that the product is good. So it is not that the product is actually good, but the marketing has been done, the branding has been done in such a manner that they have become attractive. They have become different. They look different from the other providers, education providers. Okay, so that is something which is what the customer wants. Identify and give them exactly that what they are looking for. Okay, so these are the two approaches for value chain analysis. What are the steps involved? Look at the steps now. For cost approach, there are 5 steps. Identify the firm's primary and support activities. That is what Porter has done. Michael Porter has done the same thing. He has identified the primary and secondary activities. Second, establish the relative importance of each activity in the total cost of the product. Value addition. Is that activity adding value to my product? Analyzing that value addition, if it is there, not there. Is it a value added activity? Is it a non-value added activity? If it is a non-value added activity, whether it is necessary, whether it is not necessary. Relative importance of that activity in the entire chain. Third is identifying cost drivers for each activity to find out what is the cost coming for each activity. Identify the links between activities. Very important. It may so happen that because you have cut down upon one activity, it is affecting other activities. If you are conducting inspection, for example, at the time of purchasing the raw material, you are conducting inspection of the raw material. At the time of production, you are conducting inspection of the production process. Will it not affect any other activity? It will affect, because after the product comes out, I don't have to recheck the product for quality. So quality testing need not be done after the output is ready, because at the input stage only enough checking has been done, enough care has been taken. So increasing one activity has led to decrease of another activity. So impact of one activity on another activity or other activities, relationship. Identify opportunities for reducing cost. Okay, so these are the 5 steps which are involved in cost advantage. In differentiation advantage, only 3 steps are there. First, identify what gives value to the customer, customer's value creating activities. Second, evaluate the differentiation strategies. What do you want to, how do you want the customer to identify a product? By super branding of the product, by super packaging of the product. What you want to do to make your product look different? What are the different strategies involved? Third is identify the best sustainable differentiation, long lasting, sustainable, long lasting. Okay, so these are the 2 steps now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you write down in detail all these 5 steps. of cost advantage, and in detail all the 3 steps of differentiation advantage. Okay, so open your notebook. Let us write down. Give the heading cost advantage. Okay, you have written cost advantage. Below that, you write step number 1. Write the heading. What is step number 1? Identify primary firms, primary and support activities. Right. Step number 1. Identify the firm's primary and secondary activities. Why I'm giving you this? Because in one exam they have asked you in detail for 10 marks this cost differentiation as a question for 10 marks. So what you have to write, you have to know now. Only the 5 points will not be sufficient for you. Below that, you write all activities from receiving and storing materials. All activities from receiving and storing materials. From receiving and storing materials. To marketing, selling, and after-sales support. Marketing, selling, and after-sales support. And after-sales support that are undertaken to produce goods or services. Have to be clearly identified. And separated from each other. The managers who do value chain analysis. Must look into how the work is done. To deliver customer value. Step number 2. Just write establish relative importance of each activity. Only write that much. Establish relative importance of each activity. Below that, you write the total cost of producing a product or service. The total cost of producing a product or service must be broken down and assigned. To each activity. Full stop. Activity-based costing. Is used to calculate cost of each process to calculate cost of each process. Full stop. Activities that are a major source. Activities that are a major source of cost, or done inefficiently, major source of cost or done inefficiently, must be addressed first. Must be addressed first. Step number 3. Identify cost drivers for each activity. Step number 3. Identify cost drivers for each activity. Below that, right? Only by understanding which factors drive the cost, comma, managers can focus on improving them. Managers can focus on improving them. Full stop. Cost for labor intensive activities. Cost for labor intensive activities are driven by labor hours, comma, speed of the work done, or the wage rate, Step number 4. Identify link between activities. Step number 4. Identify link between activities. Below that, reduction of cost in one activity. May lead to further cost reductions in subsequent activities. For example, less components in the product design. May lead to less defective parts, and less service cost. Therefore, identifying the link between activities will lead to Better understanding will lead to better understanding of how the cost components can improve and affect the entire value chain and affect the entire value chain. Step number 5. Identify opportunities to reduce cost. Identify opportunities to reduce cost. Below that, right? When a company realizes and understands its inefficient activities and related cost drivers it can plan how to improve them. For example, if the wage rates are very high, it can be dealt with by increasing the production speed or outsourcing the jobs to low wage countries or introducing automation. Next, studying with differentiation advantage. The total question had been asked for 10 marks. If they ask you only the first part, that is only the cost advantage, then it is about 6 marks or 8 marks or 6 marks. Total question is what? 10 marks. Differentiation advantage. Step number 1. Identify customers' value creating activities. Identify customers' value creating activities. Below that, right? After identifying all the value chain activities, managers have to focus on those activities that contribute the most in creating customer value in creating customer value. For example, in case of Apple products, in case of Apple products, Apple company products, comma, success comes not from, success comes not from great product features, great product features, but from successful marketing activities, from successful marketing activities. Step number 2, evaluate different strategies. Evaluate different strategies for improving customer value. For improving customer value. Below that, right? Customer value can be improved. Customer value can be improved in the following ways. In the following ways. Number 1, add more product features. Add more product features. Second, focus on customer service. Focus on customer service and responsiveness. Focus on customer service and responsiveness. Third, increase customization. Increase customization. What do you mean by customization? Customization means manufacturing the products as per the requirements of the products, as per the requirements of the customers. Customizing the product means making the product customer friendly. As and how the customer wants, you can make the product, you can alter the product as per the requirements of the customer. Fourth, offer complementary products. Fourth, offer complementary products. Step number 3, identify the best sustainable differentiation. Identify the best sustainable differentiation. Below that, right? Usually, superior differentiation and customer value. Superior differentiation and customer value. And the customer value will be the result of many interrelated activities. Many interrelated activities and strategies used. Many interrelated activities and strategies used. The best combination of them, the best combination of them should be used to pursue sustainable differentiation advantage. Sustainable differentiation advantage. Okay. So we'll stop here for today. Tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll complete this Porter's 5 force model, which has been done in our inter-CA SM strategic management. But we'll do that again from this point of view. And I will be taking up a few case studies tomorrow because we have got a lot of case studies to be done. You can see here we are having case study 1, case study 2, case study 3. So all these 3 case studies we'll do tomorrow. And after that, what we can do is I'll give you some homework also relating to Porter's 5 force model. And you will have to solve those questions. After solving those questions, you have to send me the PDF of that, or you can send me the pics of that from your mobile to my WhatsApp, because I want to know how you answer the questions. Okay. So I will be giving you homework on the basis of Porter's 5 force model, where I will be giving you a particular industry. On that particular industry or that particular company, you have to tell me how are the 5 force models or 5 forces going to affect that particular company, in what manner, and give me the points for consideration. So I will tell you exactly what is to be done, and that homework I will give it to you, which you have to submit by, say, Monday. Okay. Tomorrow is what? Tomorrow is Thursday. So we are having sufficient time, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you can sit down for these 3 days and write down the answer. Take the pics of that and send it to me on WhatsApp. Right? So again, homeworks will be a part and parcel, because case studies I have to see how you answer and rectify wherever it is required, so that you become very good by the time you reach your examination day. You are having enough practice of writing case studies. Okay, writing the answers to the case studies, because I want that you should score your entire 20 marks to the case study fully without any problem. Fine. So this is the plan for tomorrow. So we'll stop here for today. We'll complete this tomorrow, and we'll, if time permits, we'll start with the second chapter also. Fine. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.